In California, a woman hides in a Disneyland ride to avoid arrest. A New York man is sentenced for pointing lasers at Delta flights in midair. A daycare worker in New Hampshire is arrested for child pornography. These stories and much more coming at you today, Wednesday, the 28th of June, on Real Life Real Crime Daily, and I'm Jim Chapman.
And I'm Woody Overton.
And I'm Mike Agovino. I'm back. Sorry, folks.
Ago's back. He's back again.
Thank you, Kelly.
The real Ago, please stand up. Please stand up.
I didn't know I was going to get serenaded off the bat. Well,
that was totally spontaneous.
Thank you, Kelly. You were awesome. I saw the ratings were up about 40%. So I had to hire like 25 interns to make negative social media comments just to try and calm things down. But you are a pro and a great lady, and I appreciate you being here for me and for the guys. I have gifts for you guys.
Gifts.
Yeah, I
world tour.
It was a tale of two trips. There was the front part of the trip, which was a great visit to New York, a great trip up there, great time with family.
RentAHitman.com people.
I didn't get to see
one of them snakes to jump out of
I didn't get to see the Rent a Hitman people, but I did get to finally say goodbye to an old friend who passed away 3 years ago, who we couldn't do a proper service for because it was during COVID, and we were finally able to do it 3 years later. And he was very special to me, and it was a very special day doing that. And then just being able to spend time with Mom.
Glad you got to go.
Was all awesome. And then it came time to go home, and that's when you could play the Tiffany intro right now.
Oh, yeah?
That's when I had my own version of Mile High Crimes.
When you sugar turn your shit.
It all turned. Shit! I dropped something. That's when it all turned to shit because. You guys know. Well, this is a little something from.
That's got to be a shot glass.
New York. Okay.
This definitely ain't a bread box.
Okay.
And we're opening. That's what you.
Yeah. They're opening. They're opening their little New York shot glasses. Okay, but guys.
Super cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where's the last place on earth I would ever want to have to go?
Philadelphia.
Yeah. Philadelphia. My New York flight on Sunday night, after 3 hours of being in LaGuardia Airport, canceled on us. And the only way to get back to New Orleans was to take a choo-choo down to Philadelphia.
Another one.
Filthy.
So we got to
fly
New York and Philly love.
And fly.
It's got a Rocky on it in front of the Liberty Bell.
And fly out of
That's love.
Philly.
Thanks, bro.
Back here, which we arrived, all told, 26 hours late from our originally scheduled trip. It was,
so
and you got to hang out in your favorite city.
It was just hell. It was so bad that I had to activate the Agovino reverse the underwear rule because I didn't wash. I didn't want to mess up my mother's. I didn't want to ask her to do anything at her age and clean anything, and neither did my wife. So I bought the proper amount of clothing for the trip. I didn't count on it being extended an extra day. And so I had to do the examination of the 5 pairs of underwear I bought and make the decision about which one I felt best about turning inside out and flying home with. And so I can officially report, and this is the Mile High Crime, that Frontier Airlines is officially the biggest piece of shit in the air. I mean, I can't.
I've had to fly them before.
So for those of you who had believed Woody's delusions of my G5, trust me, if I had a G5, this would have been the week of my life where I needed it the most. But Frontier, they charge you. They charge you for your right shoe, your left shoe. They charge you if you want to get up and go to the bathroom. They charge you double if it's number 2 that you're going, and it is freaking brutal.
That's crazy. But let me ask you this. So you got to see your mom and you got to see your piece, but when you were with your mom, did you use your Italian that you've been learning from Rosetta Stone?
I've been using it on the phone with her. It all kind of falls apart because my family converges when I'm coming from out of town or something. So it was never just us.
Right.
I mean, it was 20 of us.
I actually have a spinning tray that Mama got me from somewhere, I think like Sedona or something. So when you boys come up, we'll have to use these. Thank you for the shot glasses.
You are welcome, fellas.
Fill them full of Fireball.
I had Fireball last night.
Did you
Love me
really?
some
Yes, I did.
Fireball, man.
Every time LSU plays. That's
Heck,
after
yeah.
a few beers.
You got to shoot every time they hit a home run. You'd be drunk as hell after
After
2 nights
last
ago.
night, though, a couple of nights before that, I had a few sips.
I went in a liquor store in New York the other day, and they had little mini kegs of
Yeah, I
that.
told my buddy if we won last night, I was going to get him one of those kegs.
Yeah, those are cute. Yep. All right.
All right, crime time.
Crime time, and I've got an interesting one for y'all to kick off today's show. An investigation in Houston ended after a body turned out to be a sex doll.
Oh,
That's right. The full-size sex doll was anatomically correct, y'all. It even had pliable skin.
I was going to say, was it a blow up or?
Well, an investigation into a woman's corpse found in a wooded area near Houston came to an end after the body turned out to be made of silicone.
Ooh,
Yeah.
That sounds like it's called Real Doll.
It's called your wife found it.
That's grade one.
Yes. So the Harris County Sheriff's Office received a call reporting the body of a dead woman found inside a partially open bag in the woods. The caller told deputies he believed what he found was a body after kind of poking at it. The Harris County Sheriff, Ed Gonzalez, tweeted after investigators responded that they had suspected foul play was involved and were waiting on homicide detectives and crime scene investigation to arrive at the scene to further investigate. However, once detectives arrived and opened the bag, they discovered a full-size, anatomically correct sex doll with pliable skin. The lifelike sex doll dismembered and was wearing undergarments.
Really?
Yeah, so officials noticed something, Woody, and you being a former
The first thing I
homicide
would say
detective.
is it doesn't stink. Yeah.
Period. They noticed there was no foul smell coming from the body.
Right.
Following a video call with the medical examiner's office, it was determined the body could not be human based on the lack of
Come on, man.
decomposition.
You really had to call the medical examiner.
Look.
That's called covering your ass.
So I have a picture, y'all, that I'm going to post on Facebook that you really have to see.
It looks like it has decomp on it.
It was made up as if somebody intentionally
Maybe
did
somebody was
that.
practicing to become a serial killer.
I mean, it could be.
What a waste of a $695.
I don't know how much they are, but I bet they're a lot.
I don't really know what they
I
cost.
bet you
That was a
they're
joke.
lot.
Really interesting looking
Oh my God.
sex doll here, and we're going to post that on Facebook, so look for it because you've really got to see the picture to do justice to
Which
the
of the
story.
cops took that home, though?
You know,
Right? Because there's no crime, right? So
There's no crime.
Yeah,
But the
they
great
had-
thing about that whole story is they actually called the homicide detectives and said,
That's-
hey, come down here. We got a dead body.
It says the 1,500 plus good reviews, love dolls from $479, best real deal.
Is that a real
100%
doll?
I don't know. 100% discreet shipping. I'd hate to think you're paying $499 for a blow up. Yeah, it says real life sex dolls.
The bad thing is they tweeted it out before they realized it was a sex doll.
I mean,
so
you
they had
look
to
at
eat a
that,
little
and it
crow.
wasn't stinking, and you wasn't gagging, and it
That's
wasn't real.
crazy.
That is a crazy story. That,
and now with the AI in those things, they're putting AI in those real dolls, right?
Get sooner or later, you won't need that.
So they're talking smack back at you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
until they can birth kids, which I'm way past that age. So
Yeah.
anyway, all right, you know what?
I was gonna get one, and then the first words it said to me were, "Hey, shorty," and I can't go anywhere with that.
So y'all, I don't think I told y'all this, or maybe I did. I've been in contact with lawyers for an Indian reservation. I won't go into the details right now, but it's something we're going to be working on real life, real crime. But this kind of covers what I said about sex dolls can't be pregnant and the Indian thing. A jury convicted a 36-year-old, and by the way, that's politically correct because I asked the lawyer, I said, well, when I call you Indian or Native American, she said, anything you want to, Indian's totally acceptable. A jury convicted a 36-year-old man this week of stabbing his pregnant girlfriend on the Pyramid Lake Indian Reservation in late 2020. Not the same one I was just talking about, y'all. Michael Burciaga. Bursiaga was found guilty of first-degree murder within Indian country, a violation of Protection of Unborn Children Act, and domestic assault by a habitual offender within Indian country in connection with the death of his girlfriend and their unborn child. On December 15th, 2020, shortly after midnight, the Pyramid Lake Police Department responded to an emergency call from the victim's 15-year-old daughter. At the scene, officers found the female victim, a registered member of the Pyramid Lake Paiute tribe, deceased from apparent stab wounds inside the master bathroom. Officers reportedly located Bursiaga. I don't know how y'all say that. Burciaga. It's gonna be in the name. So anyway, they located B outside the home with a laceration on his hand, and he said, "I already know what happened, and I know what I did, which is why I slipped my wrist." Officers bandaged B's hand and transported him to a hospital via ambulance, during which he admitted that the victim was pregnant with his child. Oh my God.
It's horrible.
Investigators determined that B stabbed the victim with multiple knives during the domestic violence incident. B is scheduled to be sentenced September 25th and faces a minimum sentence of life in prison. In a statement, the U.S. Attorney Nicholas Trutenich said Native Americans face particularly high rates of violence, including intimate partner violence. It's crazy what goes on these reservations. In this case I'm looking into, I did not know that in South Dakota, 37% of the people that are missing, missing, or of Indian heritage.
Wow.
Yeah.
Put that against if you were anywhere else. I'm sure it is in other Montana and stuff like that. Actually, I think it's in Montana and South Dakota. But if that was anywhere else, that'd be crazy, right? And then here we have a lady, a member of the Paiute tribe, stabbed to death with multiple knives and her baby killed.
And this happened on the reservation land.
So maybe Bursiaga is an Italian or something. I don't know.
Let me see the name.
Yeah.
Where is it?
Burciaga.
Bursiaga.
Otherwise, they might have called him Walking Bull or something.
But if it happened, on reservation land, isn't it the reservation law enforcement
anything that's a state or a federal crime like a murder, and it goes to the American authorities. Yeah. So
did they do that on Yellowstone, or they just pretend that? It seems like
they must be pretending stuff. This one that I'm looking into is horrible. This clean cut young, I think she was 23 years old, got run over, and I won't go into all the details, but the two kids inside the vehicle that hit her, their names were Arian and Nation. So we'll leave the rest of it for the real life, real crime stories coming up.
And is there cooperation between the reservation police and the
res police would be the first ones to respond, and they have to call it up, right? So horrible story. Prayers for that family.
Amen.
Well, let's see if I can shake the rust off here a little bit. We're going to talk about a New Mexico high school cheerleader who literally trashed her baby. This is unbelievable story. So there's video that shows teen mom Alexi Treviso cheerleading with a large baby bump just 3 weeks before she gave birth in secret and dumped her baby son in a trash can. Nobody who looks at this video will think anything other and would have thought anything other at the time than that she was pregnant. She is obviously pregnant. But Treviso claims that no one, including her, knew she was pregnant. She's been charged with first-degree murder for putting her newborn baby's son in a trash can and burying him beneath a plastic bag at Artesia General Hospital in New Mexico. This is back at the end of January. Her mother, Rosa Rodriguez, told police that she didn't know that her daughter was pregnant and that they had only come to the hospital because Alexi was complaining of back pain. Well, yeah, back pain because of the extra 20 plus pounds she was carrying in front. But videos circulating online, again, clearly show a round-bellied Treviso visibly pregnant just 3 weeks earlier. So in the video, you see Alexi walking across the court. She's a high school cheerleader. And at times, she's holding pom-poms over her protruding belly. And at other times, you see her yanking on her shirt to pull it down. She's obviously hiding a weight gain there that, again, hard to believe she didn't know. But just 21 days later, she's in the hospital crying as police told her that she was caught trying to get rid of her son's body. She went to the hospital with her mother, complaining of back pain. Pregnancy tests were performed and confirmed that she was not only expecting, but that she was already in labor. When doctors told her that, she apparently panicked. She ran down the hallway, locked herself in a bathroom, and in that bathroom, by herself, she delivered that baby.
Crazy. How
she cut the cord or did what she did to fully separate from the baby is not clear, but surveillance footage from the hospital shows her struggling to walk down the hall, clutching at her bottom, and then again, footage shows her walking toward this particular trash bin, and hospital maintenance, cleaners found the infant soon afterwards, and he was dead by the time they got to him. An autopsy ruled that the boy died as a result of a lack of oxygen because of the way she put him below that plastic bag. So police say, the result was that was the result of Alexi suffocating him. When the police confronted Alexi, she admitted giving birth but claimed the baby was stillborn. Nothing was crying, she said. Her mother turned to her almost immediately and told her, "I told you about this," meaning I told you something like this was going to happen. She then referred to other cases of teenagers disposing of their babies and how they had to go to jail. This is the mother. Later in interviews, the mother told police that she didn't know her daughter was pregnant. In a statement, the family's attorney, whose name is Gary Mitchell, said, quote, "This child did not cause the death of this baby. She did not know that she was pregnant." Well, okay. So let's assume she didn't up to the point where she went into labor and delivered the baby. At that point, she obviously understood what had gone on. And at that point, she killed him. The baby's father, Alexi's boyfriend, has not spoken publicly about the incident, and they haven't named him. But listen to this. The pair, who had been together for 2 years when she gave birth, attended prom together in April. This is after all of this has happened, 3 months after. So despite the severity of the charges, Alexi was released on bond. She's allowed to finish school and graduate, and she will be back in court in September for a pre-trial hearing. This is a murder case.
Yeah, I don't know, but we did a story like this evidently one day last week. I can't remember which one, but I had a lifer message me about a family member of theirs that went through the same thing, and she said, not all people are bad, or not all family members know. She said, we did not know that she was pregnant and she hit it, or whatever, however she phrased it, and she was very upset about the story that we did covering, and I just talked back, hey, I said, every case is different. Y'all's, from what you're telling me, certainly it's different from like this, right? But it's still ultimately the baby's died. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, not knowing. So there was a woman in the media business in New York that that had a similar thing, and at first nobody believed it, and then over the years, people came to understand that it was likely true. She's a not heavy, but she's a big boned woman who is probably 5'10" or maybe even taller, and so she could carry a baby and did carry her pregnancy very differently than most people carry the pregnancy, and she literally did not know, but whether they knew or didn't know is immaterial to what happened
when
here.
you hide it underneath the garbage bag, then you know.
Well, once you deliver it,
Right? Yeah.
you
Right.
know.
Well,
and then
I know, but I mean, you had to hold it in your hands to put it in the garbage bag, underneath the garbage bag.
Yeah, so I don't understand how this case is even built around what she thought or what she knew and didn't know. The fact is she delivered a child and then killed her child.
She's going to have to pay for that for the rest of her life, one way or another. And I guess her being out on bond or whatever, they don't see her as a threat to society.
Well, I hope she enjoyed the prom.
Yeah. Hey, ladies, are you feeling overwhelmed by hormonal changes? Well, you're definitely not alone. There are more than 1,000 hormone disruptors living in our environment right now. It's in your food, your water, the air you breathe, the clothes you wear, your skincare products. They all mess with your hormones. Then there's the natural hormone changes your body goes through, premenopause, menopause. And while it's a natural process, it doesn't mean you have to suffer through it. The good news is you don't have to suffer through it anymore, because now you have Hormone Harmony, a formula made only with herbal ingredients that are shown to reduce hormonal symptoms in women of all ages. Hormone Harmony is not just a hormone support and supplement. It's become a phenomenon. Women can't stop talking about it on social media. A bottle of Hormone Harmony is sold every 24 seconds. And the biggest benefit? Well, my wife says it makes her feel like her own self again. And that's what women mention over and over in the reviews. And there are over 30,000 reviews for Hormone Harmony. And for a limited time, you can get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use code RLRC at checkout. That's happymammoth.com and use code RLRC for 15% off today. That's happymammoth.com and use code RLRC. Spark something uncommon this holiday with just the right gift from Uncommon Goods. The busy holiday season is here, and Uncommon Goods makes it less stressful with incredible hand-picked gifts for everyone on your list, all in one spot. Gifts to spark joy, wonder, delight, and that's exactly what I wanted feeling. Hey, y'all, I ordered a super cool piece. It's a candle with a sculpture of LSU's Tiger Stadium on top of it. And each officially licensed laser cut wooden replica features up to 4 layers of detail, creating a bird's eye view of a specific football field, seating section, and more. And every label includes your stadium's name, the team's logo, and school location. And it has a coconut, soy, vegan wax infused with sandalwood smell that creates tailgates and touchdowns scent profile, reminiscent of game day. It's invigorating like fresh cut grass and nostalgic like smoke from a pre-game grill, and calming like the crisp autumn air of a new semester on campus. Y'all, I love it. I have it at the base of my TV, and I'm ready to watch the Tigers play on Saturday night, right? Uncommon Goods. Look, when you shop at Uncommon Goods, you're supporting artists and small independent businesses. And many of their handcrafted products are made in small batches. So shop now before they sell out this holiday season. Uncommon Goods looks for products that are high quality, unique, and often handmade or made in the U.S. They have the most meaningful, out of the ordinary gifts anywhere. They even have gifts you can personalize. From holiday hosts and hostess gift to the coolest finds for kids, to hits for everyone from the book lovers to diehard sports fans. Uncommon Goods has something for everyone, not the same old selections you can just find anywhere. And with every purchase you make at Uncommon Goods, they give $1 to a nonprofit partner of your choice. They've donated more than $3 million to date. So to get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/RLRC. That's uncommongoods.com/RLRC for 15% off. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods, we're all out of the ordinary.
We're going to lighten it up after that a little bit.
Crazy.
And we're going to tell you, look, I'm sure both of y'all have been to Disney World or Disneyland.
Too many times, unfortunately. Not 30 years, though.
A ton of times myself. Well, a woman has hidden in a Disneyland ride to avoid arrest. And I'm sure y'all have ridden.
Can we guess what ride?
Sure.
What ride do you think? I was going to say maybe it's a small world. Well, it's slow, and there's all those little things on the side you can jump off and hide. But
you might could even blend in if you have a really light, loud sounding voice.
What about Space Mountain?
Small world.
Space Mountain is no more.
Is it? Okay.
I think
Well, they have it at Disney World, don't they?
I think they redid it as something else now.
Ric Flair is not going to like that one bit. For our wrestling fans out there, you know what I mean. Ride Space
my
Mountain.
kids loved the Buzz Lightyear one where you shoot
that was after my time.
the things that he. Well, I would always go in California.
I lived in
Florida.
Orlando for a little bit, and then I would only go to Universal because they serve beer.
Yeah.
And Disney World follow that.
Well, Epcot serves it.
Well, I mean,
Epcot, you can drink around the
Last
world.
night in
probably
Philadelphia
30s.
Airport, Burger King served beer.
Really?
Yeah, I've never seen that
Shit, now
in my
I
life.
Got to go to
The
Philadelphia.
Burger King's brewing now. So what ride was it?
Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. That's right.
Okay.
The wildest ride in the wilderness. And nobody could have predicted it would become an illegal hiding spot. But a woman was arrested last week for sneaking into Disneyland and attempting to evade police by hiding in the attraction. The woman allegedly jumped the turnstile, headed into the park without paying for a ticket. And if you bought Disney World tickets, you can understand that.
Yeah.
A bystander said that the woman was hiding in Big Thunder Mountain Railroad before she was arrested. Disneyland is moving forward with pressing charges.
Yeah.
Officers assisted security and arrested the woman without incident on Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. The woman was charged with misdemeanor defrauding an innkeeper. If convicted, she could serve up to 6 months in county jail and pay a fine of up to $1,000, in addition to the ticket cost, which she still has to pay. The arrest is the latest disturbance, and this is a surprising part, inside of Disney parks. Last month, two families reportedly got into a fist fight at Disney World that ended up in two members of one of the families being banned, though no one was arrested and the other family declined to press charges. And in June, another woman at Disney World berated guests and exited a ride while it was stopped for safety concerns. So Disney World having a few little problems, and Disneyland, and of course in Disney World, I'm sure it's the same with Disneyland, but they have their own police.
Yeah.
They're, it says security, but they're essentially police.
The fraud in the innkeeper would be because they have hotels inside the property. It's just an extra charge they stick on, but not paying. That's crazy.
Well, in the $700 half day park pass.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, a Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, which me and my son were on at one point, this is years ago, and at the very top of it, when you come out of the little tunnel or whatever, it broke down. So we're sitting there, and we're like on an incline at the top of this thing, and a loudspeaker comes on. It says the ride broke. And we're like, okay. And then a guy comes out of nowhere, and he says, "Y'all follow me." And everybody had to exit the ride. Now you're in midair, mind you, but there's this little bitty catwalk.
Yeah.
Well, my son was barely tall enough to ride the ride, but he was tall enough. So we're getting off of it. I'm freaking out because I don't want my son falling off this catwalk. We end up going down, and it was kind of cool. We went through the, I guess, behind the scenes part of that ride. But we come out of the entrance, and they gave us all this pass, and it was a magic fast pass. And so for the rest of the day, no matter what ride we wanted to ride, we got to go to the front of the line.
That's cool.
And I'm like, man, I hope every time I ride something, it breaks down. It was a great little pass.
You know why you never see the employees? Because
The underground.
That's
Yeah.
tunnels,
Yeah, there's
No, that fast pass is the only way to do it and actually do it and get to do a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Because otherwise you spend your day online.
it's great.
I know they
and
have
only
it
get to do a
science.
handful of
If they
things.
tell you it's an hour and 45 minutes, it's an hour and 45 minutes.
Indeed it is. But, the biggest question about Disney World that I always had, and I've been there probably 20 times, how is it that you never see someone cutting the grass? Never see a lawnmower in Disney World. Never seen, but the grass is always cut.
They must do it after
They got to do it at night, middle of the night.
fireworks at night.
Yeah.
Jim's walking through Disneyland thinking about landscaping.
Yeah.
Well, it just blew my mind. And I stay on property, so I'm like, how do I never hear lawnmower?
They do it all overnight.
Yeah, they must.
All right. So you know what? Here we go to another story about children, and it's disturbing. A 38-year-old daycare provider from New Hampshire faces federal charges after taking nude photographs of children during bathroom breaks at her place of work and sending them to an intimate partner via text. On Thursday, June 22nd, the U.S. Attorney's Office in Massachusetts announced that federal prosecutors charged Lindsay Groves with one count of sexual exploitation of children and one count of distribution of child porn. On Tuesday, June 20th, officers from the police department received a report that Groves, a daycare provider at Creative Minds Early Education, sent a former romantic partner photographs depicting children with their genitals exposed. I would kill someone. Nasha PD officers initially arrested Groves on charges of felony child sex abuse images. Officials learned that between May and June of 2023, Groves allegedly took inappropriate photos of children at the daycare center during their bathroom breaks. Groves used the private bathroom with a full-size door instead of the center's public bathroom with half-size doors. She would then reportedly send the photographs to her romantic partner. Groves allegedly sent over 2,500 text messages to the individual, which included discussions about and the transfer of explicit photographs. The AG's office said, or the attorney's office said, there was at least 4 inappropriate photographs that depicted children around 3 to 5 years old. During an interview with the attorney's office, Groves told officials she instructed the children to pull their shirts, tops towards their head, and their pants were pulled towards their ankle as she took pictures of their genitalia. And police also arrested 39-year-old Stacy Lawton on charges of distribution of child sexual abuse images in connection with the case. Lawton is a former New Hampshire state representative.
Wow.
And here's a picture of these two winners. How
we'll
in the
post
hell
that
he
on
ever got
Facebook.
elected as state representative?
Let me take a look at that.
That is absolutely just disgusting. And, you know, I'm not going to say what you should do with people like
Murder by
that. But
you.
yeah.
Murder by you.
Yeah, that's awful.
They don't have bayou up there, but you can put them under the ice.
They can sit them down here. We'll put them
put
on murder by
Put them
you.
under the frozen ponds.
Yeah. Crazy.
Well, folks, you asked for it, and here it is. The first stuff I'm not allowed to report.
Oh, shit. Here we go.
That's right. It's the first and probably the last stuff I'm not allowed to report.
All right.
This new segment is brought to you by Louisiana Funeral Services because this report might get me dead. And if it does, at least I can rest easy with Roy, Kristen, and Kristen at Louisiana Funeral Services.
Right.
Clutch your pearls, Jim, because I'm about to slap a dose of truth on you. Here we go.
So
This is
glad
totally
I get to edit this
unscripted.
later.
Yeah.
I'd like to tell you all about the crime of charging people $250,000 to get into a tin can, posing as a submarine, and using a PlayStation controller with underwater text messaging to find its way to the Titanic, where they could then view the decaying wreckage from a window half the size of the one you get in seat 22F of a 727, or the fact that the mainstream media conducted a 3-day rating stunt on America by lying and claiming while there was still oxygen, there was still hope, when they already knew everyone on the damn thing was dead. But I can't cover it because I'm not allowed to. I'd like to tell you that both Biden and Trump's crime should eliminate both of them from running in the 24 election and give us a chance to vote for a candidate under the age of 90, but I can't. I'm not allowed to report on it. I'd like to tell you that ex-Marine Daniel Penny was defending himself and other New York City subriders when he put a crazed homeless person named Jordan Neely, who was openly threatening passengers, including Penny, and had 44 arrests, a current warrant out, and was AWOL from the mental facility he was supposed to be in a submission hold. But I can't. I'm not allowed to report on it.
I don't want to go to Bloody Eagle.
I'd like to tell you about my new hero and second most favorite person named Taylor. That would be Taylor Swift, who told the so often victimized and unbelievably virtuous Duchess of Sussex to pound sand when Meghan Markle asked Swiftie to be a guest on her now defunct Spotify podcast. But I can't. I'm not allowed to report on it. I'd like to tell you that Tom Scandival is a big cheating loser, but that Ariana maybe should have given him a Hummer every now and then if she didn't want his eye wandering. But I can't because I'm not allowed to report on it. And finally, I'd like to report on all the evidence proving that Dr. Anthony Fauci invested over $40 million in U.S. taxpayer dollars sponsoring gain-of-function research at the Wuhan lab. He lied about it to Congress. He conspired with an international cabal of virologists to cover it up. He lied about the efficacy of masks and vaccines and extended lockdowns, school closings, and mask and vaccine mandates to protect himself and to ensure the election victory in 2020.
We told y'all Mike was persistent if he's nothing else.
But
he just
I can't because I'm not allowed to report on it.
Everything.
This has been your first
not allowed to
stuff I'm not allowed to report on.
He just got it the Ago way, but we'll see how that works out.
A Florida man has been arrested for kidnapping a 3-year-old boy from Ihop. Following a day-long search, deputies arrested a 33-year-old man this week on suspicion of stealing a vehicle and kidnapping a 3-year-old boy from Ihop. On Saturday, deputies responded to the Ihop on West Oakland Park Boulevard. That's in Florida, after a woman exited the restaurant and noticed her son and car were gone. Deputies found the vehicle and the unharmed child, thank God, moments later in Fort Lauderdale. They reportedly established a perimeter in the area and called in aviation and canine units to help search for the suspect, Philip Pepe Jr., but he had fled the scene. The sheriff's office received an anonymous tip and responded to a hotel in hopes of finding Pepe, but he was not there. Investigators were reportedly able to use his hotel reservation to locate him again in Lake Worth, Florida. With the help of the Palm Beach Sheriff's Office and U.S. Marshal Services, officials arrested Pepe and booked him into the Palm Beach County Jail. And, of course, he faces multiple charges, including kidnapping, false imprisonment of a child, and grand theft auto. Now, you know, obviously the biggest problem here is this 3-year-old was left in the vehicle. The woman probably went into IHOP just to quick grab, something she called in. Right. But, folks, that's all it takes. It's 2 seconds.
Let me tell you, I had a case here right up the road in between here and Watson, and the dude went in with his friend to rob one of those stop and robs, and the mom went in to get I think a milk, and he left. He didn't have a vehicle, so he steals her vehicle. She left it running, and guess what? 2 kids.
Oh my God.
And we arrested this asshole, Everett Thornton, so many times. He had just got on parole again. And you know what he did when he realized the kids were in the car? He puts them out right on the side of Highway 16. And one of them's in the seat, and the other one's 3 years old. I mean, we found him within minutes, thank God, and we had to hunt him the whole weekend. That was on Easter weekend. I'll never forget that SWAT call out. But it happens. It only takes a second.
It only takes a second. And look, we've all been there. Me and my wife had 3 kids within 2 years of each other, and they're all 3 in the car, and you're just running in to pay for gas, or you're just running in to do whatever. I was a paranoid parent, and I would tell my wife all the time, don't leave them kids in the car, even to, a 2-second pay for something.
You can't do it now.
You know how they called this asshole, right?
No.
They got him from hotel to hotel. He was using his credit card. So they were tracking his credit card. That's why they were over tracking from hotel to hotel.
Yeah.
Idiot.
Well, thank God they caught him, and I hope he gets what's coming to him.
Well, we're going back to Florida. Y'all ready for this?
Yes.
Deputies arrested a 22-year-old man and a 20-year-old woman this week for their alleged involvement in a string of crimes, including multiple hit and runs, possessing drugs, and trespassing at an elementary school. Deputies from the Flagler County Sheriff's Office responded to the area near State Road 100, east of Old Kings Road, and a Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission officer reportedly witnessed an SUV strike multiple cars before driving off at a high speed. Sheriff's office said the officer turned on his emergency lights and siren, but failed to stop the SUV. The SUV then drove onto Old Kings Elementary property and onto the school's running track. After the vehicle reportedly drove onto the Flagler County landfill before entering a wooded area. Additional deputies arrived and set a perimeter on the ground as a Flagler County firefight kept track of the SUV, I guess a helicopter, y'all, from above. Deputies approached the vehicle, which appeared to be stuck on a concrete barrier, and ordered the driver and passenger to exit. The suspects refused to comply, so deputies removed them. We call that getting a little real estate. The sheriff's office noted the male driver, later identified as Stephen Peterson of Port Orange, Florida, was naked, except for a small covering wrapped around his waist and socks. Officials do not know why he was not fully clothed. Officials took Peterson and the passenger, 20-year-old Victoria Averill, into custody. Peterson was arrested on charges of fleeing and eluding and leaving the scene of a crash with damage to vehicle or property and a slew of other charges. And in a statement, Sheriff Rick Staley said, "Just when you think you've seen and heard everything, a driver causes multiple hit-and-run crashes, flees from law enforcement, resists arrest, and then has to be dragged out naked from his car to be arrested." I told you it's a great show on OP.
Florida showing up hot, huh?
Check this cat out.
Was he on drugs?
Oh, obviously.
Yeah,
I'm sure there was a lot of meth involved in it. Yeah, we go.
And we're going to post a picture of him because you got to see. They've actually got him handcuffed.
You know his mama's proud. Yeah.
Oh,
he's going to have some lady fans in the pokey, though. I mean, he looks like one of those guys that's going to get a fan club going
and washing dirty drawers.
What did he have? They didn't say
he had to put that on. He had to be butt naked. That's like a bed sheet or something, a Hawaiian bed sheet.
Interesting choice. Something around his waist and socks.
Yeah. Figure that one out.
I once played in a strip poker game where at the end, the only thing I had left was one sock that I used to cover one particular piece of my anatomy. Yeah. That's getting right down to the wire before losing. That's decision time if I'd have lost another hand.
Strip poker a lot of times, and I lost.
Hell, the first thing I remove is my underwear. Shit. Pull that anaconda out.
The anaconda. There we go.
Oh, lost again.
We have a new twist on an old story, a story we've covered numerous times. Most recently, we covered the story because the Attorney General in New Mexico decided not to bring charges against Alec Baldwin. But there is an interesting twist in the story of the movie Rust, where
I thought we were so done with that shit.
Rust,
you might as well start reading about Murdaugh. I'm sorry, I'm giving you.
I have other alternatives that I can go with if you guys don't want to know what's going on with Rust.
Well, I already told you we're going to find him guilty, and they didn't.
Well, you don't like this story.
That's I've been riding that story since the beginning.
I'd be interested in it.
Okay. Well, here's why I do think it's newsworthy.
Right.
Because prosecutors on Thursday charged the armorer, Hannah Gutierrez Reed, whose name everybody will remember, with tampering with evidence in connection with the 2021 fatal shooting of Helena Hutchins. So this is a new charge. Gutierrez Reed also faces an additional charge over, quote, the transfer of narcotics to another person. When Alec Baldwin's prop gun accidentally discharged a live round and struck cinematographer Helena Hutchins, 42, in the chest, and also wounded the film's director, Joel Souza, on the 21st of October, 2021. So immediately after this happened, allegedly, Gutierrez Reed got rid of some drugs she had and handed them to someone else. So this is according to a report in the New York Times. The Santa Fe District Attorney's Office said the drug transfer was meant to prevent criminal prosecution. Yeah. The prosecutors are determined to get to the facts of the case and get those facts in front of the court. Special Prosecutor Carrie Morrissey said in a statement, the ongoing investigation revealed strong evidence that Ms. Gutierrez-Reed tampered with evidence on the day of the shooting by asking another person to take possession of her narcotics. Morrissey added that Gutierrez-Reed, quote, is properly charged with tampering with evidence. The prosecution will provide Jason Bowles, who is her attorney, with all the evidence related to the new charge in a timely fashion. Defendants are never entitled to notice that information is being filed. The information is the notice. So the lawyer was complaining that this should have been discovery, and the prosecutors are saying
It's
this
not, because it's a new charge.
That came up in
They still getting
in the
it.
investigation.
You got to be arrested for it.
Yeah.
So
I said what kind of dope it was.
So the attorneys for Gutierrez-Reed have responded to the charge, asking the judge to dismiss the new details in a new court filing. Bowles, who is representing Gutierrez-Reed, asked the judge to have the state prosecutor turn over emails between the investigator, the district attorney, and state prosecutors. So now he's kind of pushing back, saying that there's a little bit of collusion going on between those folks. It's shocking that after 20 months of investigation, the special prosecutor now throws in a completely new charge against Ms. Gutierrez-Reed with no prior notice or any witness statements, lab reports, or evidence to support it, he claims. This comes on the heels of the state letting its lead investigator go, and the investigator raising serious concerns about the investigation in an email. This stinks to high heaven and is retaliatory and vindictive. That is all from her attorney.
Did they say what kind of dope?
I don't believe that they did.
Probably methamphetamine.
Gutierrez-Reed's legal team said she plans to plead not guilty to both the evidence tampering and the involuntary manslaughter charges, the original charges. She's now the sole defendant facing charges because the charges were dropped against Baldwin back in April. Before his formal charges, the actor denied any responsibility for Hutchins' death and argued that he didn't even pull the prop gun's trigger. He went on to settle a wrongful death lawsuit with the Hutchins family last year. I didn't know that was settled, okay? Baldwin's complaint alleged that several crew members failed to maintain safety on the set by handing him a loaded gun, and this charge coming from the Attorney General seems to suggest that maybe there's something to it.
What's the name of the movie?
Rust.
Oh, no. It's something that Woody Overton will never watch. That's the name of it.
They are actually finishing this movie.
I know.
And I think it is something that nobody is going to want to
It'll
watch.
probably win an Academy Award now.
That's right.
That's
we
doubtful.
promoted it. There's no doubt about it.
Thank you for the update. Hey, y'all, let me tell you about Gobble. All Gobble meal kits are pre-prepped. That means less work for you and less waste in your kitchen. Their meal kits include everything you need so you can save time at the store or just skip that trip entirely. I got the box in and I had 3 different meals. I had a Kung Pao chicken, crispy fish tacos, and a beef bourguignon, however you say it. But let me tell you about the classic beef bourguignon. Look, it came with beef pot roast and a beef broth concentrate, red wine demi-glaze, cremini mushrooms, cipollone onions, mashed potatoes, baby carrots, and rosemary thyme butter. It was so easy to make. Literally like 15 minutes it took Cindy. And let me tell you something. And all the dishes were fire, but this thing was like a taste explosion in my mouth. It's just unreal. We've got to spend more time together and more time doing the things we love because everything came in this one single box right to my door. So see what a difference Gobble will make for your household. Right now, they're offering my listeners a fantastic limited time deal. You get $120 off across 4 boxes plus free shipping and free cookies. And let me tell you, those cookies, I ate one that was sin baked and it was delicious. Go to gobble.com/real life. That's GOBBLE.com/real life for $120 off your first 4 boxes. This offer is not available on the home site, so don't miss out. This is genius. It's taste explosions in your mouth like you never had.
Save big money on appliances now at Menards. You need reliable and energy-efficient appliances to conquer the day. Menards is your one-stop shop with the largest in-stock appliance selection. Ready to take home today. Check out our top appliance brands including KitchenAid, Whirlpool, Maytag, Amana, and Criterion. Save big money on all appliances at Menards and check out our weekly flyer on menards.com for all our great deals.
Save big money at Menards.
You can now take off that belt and move freely around the cabin.
I needed
All right,
you on
Miss
Frontier
Tiffany.
last night. Too.
Hey, Mike, how do you say it? Rochester.
Rochester.
There you go. There you go. There's Mike's Rochester. So we're going to tell you about a Rochester man that's been sentenced for pointing a laser at a Delta airplane.
Dumbass.
This man was sentenced in federal court on Thursday for pointing a laser at a Delta flight during a descent in the Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport. Nicholas Link, who is 43, was sentenced in Wisconsin to serve 2 years in prison for pointing a laser 3 times into the cockpit of a commercial plane over River Falls, Wisconsin in October of 2022. Delta airline pilots were flying a commercial flight from Raleigh to Minneapolis. During their descent at 9,000 feet, the cockpit was illuminated by a bright blue light 3 times. The captain described it as sheer brightness and compared it to suddenly turning all the light into a dark room. The pilot said the incident happened during a critical phase of the flight, and they were just told by air traffic control to change runways. The pilots were not able to look on their iPads for information on the new approach, and the first officer instead used it as a shield to protect his eyes. Ultimately, the pilots were able to land the plane safely. One minor mistake during this critical phase could have led to a catastrophic result, the captain told the court. And the captain said the vision in his right eye was affected for several hours after the laser was pointed into the cockpit. The first officer did not suffer any vision problems. Air traffic control informed the Minnesota State Patrol of the incident, and a pilot flew to River Falls to investigate. Now, while circling 3,500 feet, the State Patrol aircraft was also struck by a blue laser. The pilot used surveillance equipment and coordinated with local law enforcement to find Link and take him into custody. Aiming a laser at an aircraft is incredibly dangerous and reckless, and in this case, forced the Delta pilots to focus on their temporary blindness, which put everyone on the aircraft in extreme danger. This from the judge during sentencing. Now, y'all may be surprised. Pilots reported 9,457 laser pointing incidents in 2022, 9,700 in 2021. And according to the Federal Aviation Administration, already in 2023, nearly 5,000 laser pointing incidents have been reported. I didn't know this was a thing, but wow, what idiot is going to get out there and point a laser at an airplane?
How old is that guy?
43.
Here's the deal. He's going to federal prison, and he'll be locked up, and be like, some dude be like, "Hey man, what you in for?" And he's like, "What you in for?" "I'm in for murder." What you in for? Pointing the laser light at airplanes. I didn't have anything else to do.
I don't think that guy's going to come clean.
His punishment should be everybody on that plane. They should tie him to a post, and everybody on that plane should get to walk by and slap the fuck out of him.
I didn't even realize they had lasers that strong that you could.
Some bitches go forever,
Jesus Christ, man!
But
that
I mean,
drones are the big thing. The problems for planes now.
What do these people think that are doing it? That they're just kind of casually fucking with these people, and that
I don't know,
I mean,
bro,
if
but
they brought a
5,000
plane
this
down,
year.
would they be happy that happened?
And maybe that's a cheap way of doing some terrorism. Don't have to worry about the whoever.
But there are thousands
it's
of
a
people
joke
doing
to
it
them.
based upon those
Thousands
numbers.
and thousands
It's crazy.
of people doing it.
Yeah.
You do it in my plane, I find you.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna put it out. This should put your eye out.
Put your eye out. Well, that's
great.
your mile high grind.
That was a good one,
today.
You can now take off that belt and move freely around the cabin.
Thank you,
yeah.
Tiffany. Yeah. I was hoping we were to this segment.
Anaconda time.
Yeah. We love our kinky crimes.
Kinky
Woody.
crimes for Wednesday, y'all. A man. Go ahead. This is another Florida story. A man and woman in the
Freaky
Florida
Florida.
Keys stumbled into the private backyard of a Key West resident and began having an argument and some sex.
Usually follows an argument.
Simultaneously?
Right. So a 52-year-old woman told police she heard an argument coming from her backyard Monday evening, and that's when she called the cops. When the woman looked outside her window, she said she saw a man and a woman having sex. The couple, 36-year-old Stephen James Dean and 49-year-old
James Dean.
Yeah, right. Teresa Ann Bahan are both listed as homeless, and each with this is. I must have the wrong picture. The one I thought was a state rep. This got to be these idiots. But anyway, are both listed as homeless and each with a criminal background. The Key West woman who reported the excursion in her backyard says she saw the couple having sex up against a barrier wall. When police showed up to the house, they reported that Dean and Bahan both reeked of alcohol, that Dean had passed out over the side of the wall, and that Bahan was just trying to comfort him. They found the couple lying in a yard behind a stone wall. The two could not put together a complete sentence and were slurring words. Police said the couple told them they had walked around the town together when they stumbled upon the yard where they consummated their walkabout.
Hell yeah.
Consummation of a walkabout.
Bahan reportedly told police that James claimed he was her music producer and that he told her their rendezvous backyard was his own place. That's when Dean told police that he and Bahan were indeed having sex in the backyard.
Wow.
Dean and Bahan were both arrested and taken to jail. The charge of indecent exposure and trespassing, both of which misdemeanors. Certainly kinky crime.
But
That
you
is
know,
a music producer.
It's Key West, man. Aren't they supposed to just kind of let them
The 52-year-old lady didn't appreciate them getting it on her rock wall.
And he's going to say he's a producer. This is my pad.
This guy.
Well, he could have been a music producer. I mean, you can't.
When I looked at the other man, I must have
That can't be them. No, it's
This has gotta be them.
No.
Right?
No.
Do you believe that guy was a state rep in the other state?
More than I believe he's a music producer.
That's lookism. That's lookism.
Yeah, that's true. I'm turning
back off.
Very good.
Kinky crime.
Oh, I get banjos. I miss my banjo.
Banjo time.
Banjo time.
This story hits a little too close to home for me.
Which one?
My son has a problem with those flaming hot Cheetos, but this is a little bit different story. But I hate those things. Burglar busted thanks to Cheeto dust on her teeth. You might say
Can't
she
get
was
that stuff off with sandpaper.
You might say she was caught orange-handed. A woman was busted for a home invasion in Oklahoma, thanks in part to Cheeto dust found in her teeth. You cannot get that shit off. Sharon Carr was arrested on a first-degree burglary charge after committing the Dangerously Cheesy Act Friday at a home in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Cops said they arrived at the home that night where a mom of two young kids had called 911 to report that another lady had pried a screen door off her window and gotten inside her home. The snack-loving sneak had already fled, but cops say they found, quote, a bag of Cheetos and a bottle of water on the floor near the open window. Wow, what a loot.
Right.
Combined value of $69. You know, it's a solid $4.50, $5 crime. A few seconds later, however, Carr allegedly emerged from the shadows. The mom ID'd her as the invader, and the bust was further cemented when they found the incriminating orange snack food residue still stuck in her teeth.
Oh, my God.
Cops think she dropped the bag while making her escape. Quote, a good reminder that Cheeto dust can be pretty hard to get rid of. The Tulsa police wrote on Facebook. Yeah, that's your takeaway. That's the Tulsa police's takeaway. Why did she come back from out of the shadow. I don't get why she didn't just
Maybe
run
she
away,
wanted to finish her Cheetos.
Yeah.
But I
They had
mean,
it Cheetos.
She's not a smart criminal.
no,
This ain't
That's right.
smart criminal.
That's right.
Sorry.
Yeah.
dollar volume on
If you could figure out, that means you're as dumb as she is.
That's right.
the risk reward matrix on water plus Cheetos versus home invasion. No,
That is certainly
definitely
dumbass.
qualifies.
Give us
Certainly a
some
dumb
banjos.
He's a dumb criminal. And look, we've been getting our asses chewed, to say lack of a better term, for not doing they stole what.
I'm telling you, that's the biggest
Nobody's
thing.
been
Every time
stealing,
we-
but there's been no theft.
Well, I've got a theft.
You
for
found
you.
some?
Okay.
Okay,
I found
I
some,
thought
so
the
we'll run
crime
through
problem
this
was turning around in the country.
really fast. And we're going to do they stole
They
what?
stole what?
So what?
All right, let me tell you all about stealing neighbors' panties. Okay, and this could be a kinky crime almost, but not quite. Not quite kinky enough. All right, so Paul Freitag's burglary charge isn't your run-of-the-mill burglary. According to police, the 68-year-old resident is accused of stealing his neighbor's underwear and leaving 2 tubes of KY lubricating personal jelly. Last week, police were dispatched to take a complaint report. One can assume the officer was surprised as the situation played out. A female resident of Timothy Lane, not sure where that is, but she arrived home on Friday and saw a shadow in the kitchen. She then heard a sliding glass door open, saw Freitag, her neighbor, coming across the street and into her backyard. She told authorities she asked him what he was doing. He said he saw a young kid go in her house and was making sure everything was okay. The woman told police she still had questions about the 68-year-old neighbor's story, but led him through the house to the front. Later, the woman and her husband checked, and they couldn't find anything missing. The couple then walked over to Freitag's house that evening, and he told them a similar story, but it was a little more questionable. Freitag told the couple he left the house out of the back door because he was scared when the woman arrived home. Freitag's wife and the woman, they meet a short time later, a couple days later, and they speak in person. And Freitag's wife begins crying. She was visibly upset and said her husband admitted to being in the home. The distraught wife of Freitag said her husband admitted to going through the female neighbor's room and going through her items.
Oh, Lord.
The woman asked Freitag's wife if her husband mentioned anything about leaving 2 tubes of KY jelly in the bedroom several months ago. She found these 2 tubes and she's like,
She's blaming it on her husband.
yeah. So Freitag's wife said no. Then the alleged victim and her husband looked on the side of the house later in the evening after a photograph was noticed missing from their bedroom. Instead of the photograph, police said the couple found a pair of yellow underwear that belonged to the woman. So when she saw him, he dumped the underwear just wherever he could put it, right? Yeah. So the woman said she may have seen the underwear in Freitag's hand for a period of time now that she thinks about it after she walked up on him. Freitag's wife then informed her neighbors that her husband went to Lancaster to be with his son and planned to seek treatment from a medical professional. Yeah. The woman then told Freitag's wife she doesn't care what the man's plans are as long as he was out of the area. She called police, filed a report. The couple filed statements, and Freitag eventually turned himself into police.
For a pair
of yellow underwear and some KY jelly tubes.
Yeah, KY jelly tubes. You know, probably her husband called hell for that.
That's right.
She's like, that ain't mine. What you been doing?
So the moral of that story is don't steal your neighbor's underwear.
Yeah.
They stole what?
68 years old.
Yeah.
68.
Stole what?
They stole what?
Good one.
All right. We want to thank everyone for listening.
Yes. Listening,
sharing.
Liking and sharing. We appreciate y'all. Yeah, we're blessed to get to do what we do. We couldn't do it without y'all. And thank you. We thank our sponsors and love all y'all.
We're glad Mike's back.
Yeah, we got it.
Mike's glad to be back.
All right, back again.
Send cards and letters. Tell us how much you love the new segment.
Yeah,
The new segment.
Yeah, that segment. That'd be the only time you ever hear
No,
that segment.
stop.
I'd like to, but I can't segment. Yes. All right. And until next time, I'm Jim Chapman.
I'm Woody Overton.
And I'm Mike Agovino.
Your host of Real Life, Real Crime Daily. Peace.
Show business.